All right, let's do this. Hello, everyone. That's some good shit. It is 3:30 in the morning. Everyone else is fast asleep. I am wide awake, so I decided, hey, why not make a podcast? So, recently, some influencer legends went out in Miami. Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Myron Gaines, Nick Fuentes, Justin Waller, and two other guys. It was Clavico, and who was the other one? I honestly forget. It was Clavicular and Sneeko. I had never heard of Clavicular and Sneeko prior to this, but the other influencers that I've mentioned, I already follow and keep up with their podcasts, so I'm already in tune to what they're doing. Now, I was already aware that Tate and Gaines were friends, and Justin Waller and the Tate brothers have also been friends for a long time. I've been saying for a while now that we need to have a crossover between Andrew Tate and Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, listen, they're both extreme. They're both extremists in the sense that they say whatever's on their mind and they don't give a single fuck if it will get them so-called canceled or get them banned off of Instagram or hurt your feelings. And Andrew Tate said some pretty intense stuff, but Nick Fuentes is on a whole nother level of savagery. And I've been saying for a long time, we need to see a Nick Fuentes and Andrew Tate collab. And it finally happened. Now, I'd like to see a podcast interview with the two of them together. Maybe that'll happen one day now that they've officially met. I think it was either Clavico or Sneeko that assembled them all, and they were calling this the modern day Avengers. Personally speaking now, the Avengers used to be goated, but lately Marvel has made all their shit woke. Even to this day, honestly, let's talk about that for just a second here. Avengers Doomsday is coming out this year on the 18th, and it looks exciting, especially with the X-Men all coming back. And we've got a lot of classic characters like Thor and the Fantastic Four all uniting to fight Doctor Doom with RDJ's Doctor Doom. But Marvel has become so woke. I mean, ever since Endgame, pretty much everything has been a total failure. There's been a few, like Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine, that were a pretty global success. I was actually watching No Way Home the other day. It's that good. But to be fair, Marvel released 3 movies in 2025 alone. That was Fantastic Four: First Steps, Captain America: Brave New World, and the Thunderbolts, aka the New Avengers. And all 3 of those movies, all released within the same year, all failed miserably. Why did they fail miserably? Number one, a couple of those movies do not follow the storyline of the comic books at all. And a large portion of Marvel fans are people who are into the comics. So they want to see comic storylines on the big screen. The Thunderbolts that we saw in theaters are not the same Thunderbolts from the comics. And the New Avengers is an actual comic series that does not feature a majority of the characters that were shown in the Thunderbolts movie. But the second reason why all 3 movies all flopped is because of wokery. They made everything super woke. They made Thunderbolts about having a mental health crisis. Let me explain something to you. After I saw Thunderbolts in theaters, I fucking hated it. And everyone else loved it. Everyone said it was a massive success. It wasn't. All the liberals were saying, oh my god, I really related to it because it had mental health. Basically, Bob, aka the Sentry, he's the big bad of the show, you know. He was built to be used as a weapon. And he becomes this all-powerful weapon. And you know, the Thunderbolts in the movie, you've got Yelena, who's the new Black Widow. You've got her dad, the Red Guardian, who's essentially a Russian Captain America. You've got Ava, the Ghost, who her ability, she can like phase through shit. None of these characters have actual superpowers. Now in the world, now I understand like phasing through stuff is a superpower, and like Red Guardian technically has advanced strength. But in the world of Marvel superpowers, when you've got powers that compare to like Wolverine or the Hulk or Spider-Man, like you compare that to the Thunderbolts, they basically have no powers. And they're going up against the Sentry, who eventually becomes so dark and evil that he turns into the Void and essentially turns all of New York City into a shadow realm. He is such power. Listen, Sentry is so powerful that even the Avengers can't defeat him in the comics. But they defeat him easily in the movies. You know how they defeat him? Well, Yelena gives him a hug. And then they all give him a hug. And then they find out that the reason why Sentry's evil is because he was abused as a kid by his father. And then, despite the fact that Sentry is quite literally a terrorist who destroyed nearly half of New York City, he gets away with a clean record, no punishment for his crimes whatsoever because he was having a mental health crisis. Let me explain something to you. In the 2012 Avengers movie, Loki invaded the Earth. He brought aliens to New York City, also destroyed half of New York City, killed many people. He's got a tragic backstory too. You grow up, you find out that your mother and father aren't even your real mother and father, that your father actually kidnapped you as a baby. And even before he found out he was adopted, he spent his whole life living in his brother's shadow. And I mean, if you follow Loki's adventures, like post Avengers to his mother dying and then him dying in Infinity War, and then everything he goes through in his spin-off show, Loki, yeah, he's got a tragic backstory too. So how come the Avengers didn't give him a hug and let him go of his crimes scot-free? But Sentry, who is quite noticeably a bigger threat than 2012's Loki, gets away scot-free because his dad beat him up as a kid, and now that he's an adult, he's made the conscious decision to get his revenge on his father by destroying an entire city? The whole movie was retarded. It was made for retarded-ass niggers. I don't care what the public says or the liberal mental fucks say, that movie was a fucking flop. And they made everything, Disney has made everything, including Marvel, including Star Wars, including Pixar, woke. And that is why everything that they've put out has been a total failure. Now, Disney has a bad habit of lying to us and hyping us up. I was really excited when Thunderbolts was coming out. I was excited when Captain America was coming out. They turned out to be flops because they edited the trailer in a way to make you think that the movie's going to be way different than it actually is. So there's all this hype going around about Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. It's so big, we're bringing Endgame back to theaters, Avengers Doomsday. I've lost all excitement for anything Marvel related at this point, honestly. Because I'm just like, they're just going to screw this up like they've been screwing everything else up for fucking years. Back to the influencer shit. So, Clavico's calling this the modern day Avengers, which I guess in a sense they are the Avengers, but because the Avengers are woke and everyone in this group is right-winged, I prefer to refer to them as the Justice League. You know, Andrew Tate is kind of like a Bruce Wayne. Now, I know a lot of people compare Batman and Iron Man together because they're essentially playboy billionaires with $1 million suit. I've always preferred Batman over Iron Man. And I think Andrew Tate is closer to Batman than Iron Man. Because I feel like Iron Man is not as boastful about his wealth as Batman is. But also, Batman has like this cold sense to him and he's also very brutally honest. Iron Man's not necessarily, he doesn't necessarily have that brutality. cocky. He's a cocky playboy. And he's essentially the same person. Tony Stark and Iron Man, they're essentially the same person. But Batman and Bruce Wayne, although they're technically the same person, it's two completely different people. I feel like Batman and Andrew Tate have that rich arrogance with that brute coldness and cold honesty that Iron Man just doesn't have. So I honestly think that that whole collab resembles the Justice League more strongly than the Avengers do. The Avengers are often divided, as seen in Captain America Civil War, where they were divided simply because of their political differences. At the end of the day, the Justice League, they are friends, okay? They hang out in their free time, except for Batman. Batman likes to spend a lot of time alone. But the rest of the Justice League, they like to hang out. The Avengers, they do have their moments when they hang out, but as shown in the comics and throughout the movies, and especially in Civil War, once you really sit down and get to know them, you realize that they really have absolutely nothing in common, and they're just co-workers working together to save the world. Seeing them interact, the influencers interact with each other, it didn't feel forced, it didn't feel unnatural, it felt like they genuinely got along with each other. So, and DC Comics too has noticeably, well, they tend to stay out of politics more so than Marvel does, but also when DC does get involved in politics, when they have political scenarios, they always seem to lean more towards the right. They've had their woke era. CW made Supergirl and The Flash woke. But for the most part, I would argue that DC is more right-winged and Marvel is more left-winged. Right now, I'm a much bigger DC fan than I am a Marvel fan, because DC doesn't involve all their storylines around politics. DC, when they do, they're more right-winged politics. But DC is also more intense, much darker storylines, more advanced characters. They go into the darker storylines involving characters of like the Joker and the Reverse Flash. They noticeably have much better villains. I think Marvel is too focused on being family friendly, while DC has more adult themed, very dark, sometimes a little demonic content. And I like the maturity of DC. And I also like how a lot of the characters, like Batman and Green Arrow, a lot of the shit that they go through is putting them on the path to become a better man. If you watch the Green Arrow show, Arrow was the only CW show that didn't go completely woke. And it was also the only CW show without a single bad season. And, Oliver Queen goes from this playboy son of a billionaire with bitches every day. I mean, for fuck's sake, in the beginning of the show, he literally cheats on his girlfriend with her sister and brings her sister onto his yacht, and they get stranded on an island. At the end of the day, the whole situation of him getting stuck on an island for 5 years, it was ultimately his fault because of his life habits. And, he spends, the beginning of the show still, he comes back, and he's still, in that playboy mentality, owns a nightclub and whatnot, but he's also trying to be the Green Arrow and bring justice to the city. And throughout the 8th season, he really grows as a person, completely drops the playboy gig entirely. He eventually finds a woman that he loves. And he kind of becomes, the Batman of the CW Arrowverse. And then you look at Batman too, what are Bruce Wayne's morning habits? He gets up early, gets a cup of coffee, reads for an hour, hits the gym, and he spends most of his time by himself because it provides clarity. It gives him the opportunity to think without all this background noise. So anyway, I feel like right-wingers represent DC much more than they represent Marvel. Now, old Marvel is great, but the new Marvel has been absolute trash. These influencers really went viral when they were in the limo and they were playing the song Hail Hitler by Kanye West. Now, I remember when this song first came out, it stirred up a lot of controversy. And a lot of people hated it, a lot of people liked it. I personally, I listened to the song like one time, and I really didn't give a fuck about it. Like, I was like, okay, so he's saying Hail Hitler. Like, that's pretty much the whole premise of the song. Kanye's music never really appealed to me, so I kind of just forgot about it. But now that all these influencers are going viral, the Heil Hitler song has been hitting my feed non-stop. And now I like catch myself singing it throughout the day, and I'm like, you know, once you listen to the song a few times, it's kind of catchy. Which is kind of a bad thing. Because one of these days I'm gonna be in the grocery store and I'm gonna be singing to myself like, all my niggers, hail Hitler. And some Karen is gonna blow up in my face and I'm probably gonna get banned from Walmart or something. But it's genuinely a very catchy song. I never really gave much of a fuck by it, not because I'm offended by it or anything, but it didn't really catch my eye. Now it's catching my attention, and matter of fact, I was gonna add it to my playlist the other day, and I found out that Spotify removed it, YouTube removed it. Pretty much every major platform has removed Kanye's song. The only place you can find it now is Instagram, and that's because people keep uploading their own saved files of it. Let's talk about Kanye for a minute. Personally, I am not a fan of Kanye. I think he's an idiot. He's a very boastful nigger. You know, you compare him like there's a lot of these talk show hosts, whether on the left or on the right, a lot of them speak ill of rappers, and I do agree with them for the most part. You know, a lot of these rappers, you know, they dress like a thug, whether they got their gold chain and their fake diamonds on, and they're singing about beating up women and nigger this and nigger that. And this is the thing, they say nigger, that N-word, is offensive, but then these black thugs, they say nigger after every single word and use it in every sentence as if someone is paying them to say the N-word as many times as humanly possible. But you have to be blacker than Darth Vader black to say it. Otherwise, if you're even just a tone lighter, it's considered offensive. Like, oh, you can't say that, bro. That's racist. Let me explain something to you. When you have a word that is a racial slur, and you're using it like it's a normal fucking word, and then when other races use it, you say that's not okay. Motherfucker, they are not being the racist ones. You are being the racist one. Because we live in a free country where the very First Amendment is freedom of speech, and you're over here telling us that we can't say a certain word because of our skin color, because our skin color doesn't match. We can't say a certain word or certain words. That is complete and utter bullshit. It's just a word at the end of the day. Like, stop losing your shit. Like, I saw a video on Instagram of some special AIDS kid. He had Down syndrome, and he pointed to a black person and he said nigger over and over again. And the black guy starts losing his shit. And the special AIDS caregiver tried to explain to him, like, sir, he doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't know what that word means. Like, he has Down syndrome. He's not actively aware of what he's doing. And the black guy just kept throwing a fit. And I'm, like, looking at this, I'm like, bro, you were probably having a good day, minding your own business, and you're letting this one scenario, someone that you don't even fucking know, ruin your entire day just because someone said a word, because they said the N-word, which is something that you probably use with your homies all the fucking time. I don't care if you're a white guy and you call me nigger. I've had white guys call me nigger. It's fine. It's also the way you say things too. Like, if someone is having an argument with me and they're like, you're a nigger, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, you're a racist. But if someone dabs me up, regardless of where they're from or what their skin color is, and they say, "Hey, what's up, my nigger?" I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, that's racist," or "You're a piece of shit," whatever. I'll be like, "Yeah, what's up? Like, what's up, my nigger? Okay, what's up, my homie? What's up, my dog?" It's the same fucking thing. But there are these coons where if you say, "Hey, fuck you, my nigger," they'll take just as much offense as if you say, "Hey, what's up, my nigger?" Like, bro, you're a fucking coon. You are a fucking softie. Grow a pair of balls. Like, they act like all tough, like, "Oh yeah, I'm from the hood, the gang," and they can't even aim a fucking gun. Like, they hold the gun fucking sideways. It's like, bruh. Here's the thing that gets me, is they constantly brag about how they're from the streets, and they're rich now because they make shitty music where you can't understand half the shit they say because they're mumbling all the time. What you can hear is, "I beat women and I shoot people and nigger this, nigger that." That's all their music. It's all the fucking same. And then they go on stage with their ripped up jeans that look like they've been run over by a Mack truck. And their pants halfway down. You can see their genitals through their underwear. They don't take care of their awful looking dress. Their hair's a fucking mess. They look like they smell like a garbage truck. They're in a filthy ass white beater. And then they hold the mic so fucking close to their mouth, up against their mouth. You can't understand a thing they're saying. The only thing you notice is their gold chain, which is probably fake gold, but maybe it's real gold. Let me explain something to you. If I saw someone walking down the street who was obviously a poor person, and he's wearing a gold chain or a gold watch or a diamond ring, I'm gonna assume he stole it. Which is ironic considering the fact that black people commit over 75% of crime in America. Only 2% of the population, yet they commit 75% of the crime. And they wonder why racism exists. They wonder why the Ku Klux Klan exists. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't even a good person, okay? He laughed at women getting raped. He constantly made fun of Christians. Like, if you look up his FBI file, Martin Luther King Jr. was literally committing genocide the day before he was shot. He was participating in orgies and doing shit that typical black niggers do. And yet he's a man that is celebrated so much that they give you a whole Monday off in his name. Let me tell you something, people don't fucking care about MLK Day. The average white person that wakes up on MLK Day doesn't even remember that it's MLK Day. They're just happy that they have a day off. They sit home, they watch the news, they drink their coffee, they jerk off to their wife. Nobody cares about MLK Day. Literally no one fucking cares. You see the way black people act today, and you see how they basically write their own stereotype, and it makes you wonder, there's a reason behind everything. Villains aren't born, villains are made. And a big piece of advice that I like to follow is always question everything, because the minute when you stop asking questions is the minute they start hiding shit. Why did the great white man decide to separate blacks from whites? Why did they decide that we were so bad that we needed to have our own separate bathrooms, and we needed to have our own section of the bus, and we needed to go to completely different schools and basically be treated like animals? Now, I'm grateful for the whole movement that MLK started, because I like being able to go into the same bathroom as a white man and not get fucking attacked for it. I'm grateful for that. But just because MLK did good things, we can't deny the fact that he was still a bad person. Alright, if there was a house that caught on fire, and the house caught on fire, and someone like Hitler rescued you from that house, you can thank Hitler, and you can admit that he did a good thing, but that doesn't erase all the crimes that he committed in World War III. That doesn't make him, one good deed does not make a bad person a good person. They're still a bad person. Just because a bad person does something good doesn't now mean that they're now a good person. If someone was gonna shoot you, and you were saved by Darth Vader, would you now say that Darth Vader is a hero and a good person despite all the millions of people he murdered on the Death Star? Despite the fact that when he was just Anakin, he literally murdered a bunch of kids, a bunch of little kids? Would you still say, oh, Darth Vader's a good person, he's a good man, he's a hero, he goes back to murdering people on the Death Star? Yeah, he's a hero. He might be your hero because he saved your life for some reason, but he's not a hero. Like, people really think, like, you'll meet the most awful person known to man, and then they donate to the homeless person for the cameras. Or they put a Bible verse in their bio, and suddenly, oh yeah, they're a good person. He's definitely going to heaven. He's a great man. Yeah, he just killed my wife last week, but he's got a Bible verse in his Instagram bio. He's a great human being. Now, Kanye's been a very influential person for years. I personally I always thought the guy was a douchebag. Listen, he acts just like every other nigger, saying N-word this and N-word that and cursing everyone out for no fucking reason. He acts like a hoodlum nigger. And I mean, you look at the women he hangs around, Kim Kardashian, his new wife Bianca. Bianca should be arrested by now for public indecency. Like, this is something that I talk about a lot, is I really don't like Hollywood at all. Because it's really just a bunch of rich pawns with money who do shit every single day that you and I will get thrown in jail for immediately. And there's no doubt, I do respect Kanye's audacity to say what he wants to and do what he wants to. You know, when he went through his whole Nazi phase, when he goes on Twitter and says, I'm a Nazi, and wrote a song about Nazis, and he'll show up wearing a Nazi chain or a Nazi shirt. You know, people can hate him all he wants to. I will personally defend Kanye for doing that because, well, I personally haven't been seen walking around in a Nazi shirt or whatever. And I probably wouldn't because it just doesn't match my style. He is exercising his First Amendment right. So I applaud him for that. I really do. That man has some balls. I will respect him for balls. You can dislike someone but still respect them. I am not a fan of Kanye's. I wouldn't necessarily say I dislike him. I mean, I don't hate Kanye. Let's put it this way. I don't hate Kanye, but I don't necessarily like the guy. I do, however, have respect for him for his audacity. Now, Kanye as a person, personally, I think he's a little insane. I've seen videos of him in the Kardashians' house clearly having a mental breakdown. And the fact that he was married to Kim Kardashian says a lot, you know. The woman that you choose to marry says a lot about you as a man. The woman you choose to be your girlfriend says a lot about you as a man. Kim Kardashian is one of the biggest idiots on the planet. She literally got famous for a porn video she made. So Kim Kardashian is literally a porn star. And the thing is, it happened so long ago, and you can't find the tape anywhere nowadays, that pretty much everyone has forgotten about the fact that what made Kim famous was that porn video. Like, you ask people why the Kardashians famous now, and it's, oh, because she's a businesswoman, oh, because of keeping up with the Kardashians. Buddy, she doesn't do shit. She just sits around looking pretty all day. She doesn't even look that attractive. She looks like an old woman with a BBL. As a kid, I would see the Kardashians, and you know, everyone that was famous had something that they were famous for. Bruno Mars was famous for his music. Michael Jackson was famous for his music. Miley Cyrus was famous for her music. You know, everyone that was famous, they were either famous for politics or acting or their music, or maybe they painted really well like Bob Ross did. Or maybe they were blind and could also sing. Or maybe they had been on Dancing with the Stars, or they were on America's Got Talent. There was always something distinct about them that made them famous. But the Kardashians, I would look at them and I'd be like, why are they famous? And I'd ask around, I'd be like, why are they famous? No one could fucking answer the question. To this day, I wonder, why are they still famous? And now that we now live in a digitized world, full of OnlyFans creators and Instagram models, you would think that they would have been outpaced a long time ago. Because let's face it, the Kardashians are completely and utterly irrelevant, not only to us men, but now to modern day women as well. But at the end of the day, Kim is a fake, delusional, crybaby bitch. And Kanye decided to marry that creature. I understand that they're divorced now, but if Kanye was a smart man, he would have never married an ex-porn star in the first place. That says a lot about him. And the woman he has now, like, he's just showing her off, like, oh, look at my hoe, look at my hoe. Buddy, what is wrong with you? Like, I don't understand men who make having a fucking thought their whole fucking personality. And some of the stuff he said on Twitter, he's like, oh, y'all don't understand, it was a social experiment. Okay. Twitter doesn't bother me. You can say whatever the fuck you want to. First Amendment rights, freedom of speech. Say whatever the fuck you want to on Twitter. Personally, I was scrolling right past all this shit because I was just seeing and I was like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Scroll past. To have a mental breakdown and, oh my god, Kanye's a terrible person? No, don't care. And also Kanye has recently changed his name to just Ye instead of Kanye West. And anytime anyone calls him Kanye instead of just Ye, he gets very visibly upset and basically loses his shit. And he's like, it's not Kanye, it's Ye. Buddy, you sound like these liberal crybabies who lose their shit when you call them the wrong pronouns. Or like Maria Giangrande, when I used to hop on her live streams and call her Ashley, and she would lose her shit because I called her the wrong name, intentionally mind you, she should know this by now, and she would literally end her entire live stream instead of just kicking me out, all because I called her Ashley instead of Mari or Maria. Like, that's what Kanye sounds like. Anytime someone says, so Kanye, it's Ye! And then he loses his shit. I'm like, buddy, you are a fucking man-child. You're telling me so all I have to do to rage bait Kanye is call him Kanye? The name that we've known him by for years. We now need to just call him what we're supposed to call him, Ye. And if you want to make him upset, just call him what we've been calling him for years. But I feel like he's basically a chihuahua. He acts all tough, but he's really not. Like, he acts all tough, like, I'm a tough nigger, look at my Nazi chain, but then you call him the name we've called him for the past 12 years, and he has a complete mental breakdown. It's like, buddy, I can't take you seriously, you're a fucking joke. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Kanye, but I still have respect for the guy. He's got that weird mix of, how do I say this? Like, he's got this weird mix of, like, psycho and respectable rolled into one person. I would personally like to debate Kanye. If I had a chance to meet Kanye in person, the very first thing I would do is ask him to debate. And I'd make it flat out clear to him, like, buddy, like, your music doesn't really resonate with me. I'm not necessarily a fan of your work. I don't really agree with a lot of the shit you said, but I respect your audacity to say the things that you say. Like, let's talk about that. Let's get into the part where the influencers go into the club. So they will go into this Miami club, and apparently Clavicular, and I believe it was Clavicular or one of the influencers, they made a request for Heil Hitler to be played in the Miami club. And they played the song, and you can see Nick Fuentes and the rest of the gang clearly vibing to it. And when I first saw this, I was laughing out loud. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing. Obviously, this caused an uproar on social media. The nightclub put out a statement basically showing what pussies they are. And they mentioned that those influencers are now banned from the club. They're saying we're not sure how they even got in. So hang on. These fuckers pull up in a limo with a whole camera crew around them and y'all didn't notice? Oh, well, they don't know how they got in. Okay. Moving on. This got so bad that the mayor of Miami got involved and it hit the news, and the mayor is now sending police officers to people's houses to confront them about their social media posts about the mayor. Now let me explain something to you. We have freedom of speech in this country. So I don't know the full details of every single story that's been evolving around this whole case. But personally, if the police came to my place, and I'm someone that says a lot of outrageous shit online, if the police came to my door, I open the door, and they say, hey, we're here to talk to you about your post. Is this you on Twitter or on Instagram and handle Adonis Ultimate, and you said this on this date? Yeah, that was me. I said that. Now what? Oh, we're gonna arrest you. On what charges? We have freedom of speech. Okay, well, we're not gonna arrest you, but... Okay. So you came here to ask me if I posted this. Whether I confirm or deny it, what happens from here on out? And see, this is exactly why I avoid Miami, because I personally have been to Miami a few times. I have friends and family that live down in Miami, and Miami is obviously on the fucking feed all the time. Every single time I see Miami, anything to do Miami, it's a fucking clown show. It's a bunch of wannabe influencers like Jack Doherty going to the clubs and pretending they have money. It is the capital of thought OnlyFans fucks. All these high value women, or so they like to call themselves, going around, oh, I can't date you unless you're a fucking millionaire. And then there's some guy pretending to be a millionaire selling fake online courses. Meanwhile, that loan on his BMW is like 2 months overdue. Like, here's the thing I don't understand about these women. Like, oh, I'm a high-value woman. I deserve the best. Yeah, you do deserve the best. We all deserve the best. Each and every one of us. But in order for you to get the best, you have to become the best. That means you have to actually get out of bed and do something. You can't just sit around on your phone and scroll on TikTok all day, or post yourself in a song, and then expect the world to be handed to you at your feet. And here's the thing, despite the fact that women do nothing but look sexually attractive and not get fat, they literally do get the world handed to their feet. They've got several sugar daddies in their DMs, they get VIP access to the nightclubs, they get all this princess treatment just because they're attractive. Some of these girls aren't even that attractive. Some of them are fat. Some of them are black. And they get this VIP queen princess treatment. And then they still complain that they're not getting enough, that they need more, Find a rich man. I want someone richer. Here's a trillionaire. I want someone richer. Like, you dump a good guy because everyone's supposed to be a billionaire by 19 to go find a 50-year-old who's a billionaire. He doesn't have time to hang out with you because he's talking to other hoes and he's working on his business. And then you complain he's not spending time with you. Okay, well, guess what, buddy? There are more women in the world than there are billionaires. Meaning, y'all are going to either have to share or y'all are going to have to settle for less. Even the billionaires who do not talk to hoes, they don't have time for hoes because they are busy working on their business so that they don't go broke. Earning the billions of dollars is one thing. It's a whole nother battle to keep earning millions of dollars, and another battle to keep the millions of dollars that you've already earned. So even if he's not talking to 50 other bitches, he's not gonna have time to stop what he's doing and take a 2-month vacation with you and give you all this attention. So, you can either settle for the simp who is going to be loyal to you and give you the world and treat you like a queen, or you could go for the high value man who is gonna treat you like a piece of meat because you are one and is not gonna give a shit about you and is instead gonna work on himself. Let me ask you something. All of these influencers, Clavicular, Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, have you noticed something? None of these men are married. None of them even have girlfriends. These are all single men. And they seem happy as fuck. Imagine if they were in a relationship. Imagine if they had even girlfriends. Oh, you're going to the club with your guys? You can't do that. There's gonna be other hoes there. I don't want that. Now, here's the thing that gets me. Girls will complain that you as a man are being too controlling because you don't want her going with her thought friends to the Miami club. But then when you want to go to the club with your guy friend, suddenly it's an issue. The fact that the mayor is using the police force to harass people about posts that he can do nothing about. There's homeless people in Miami. There's hood neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods in Miami. Miami has its fair share of problems. Don't you think that the mayor should be using his time and resources to better the city instead of harassing people about social media accounts, social media posts that he can't do anything about anyways because of the First Amendment? And the fact that these nightclubs are now issuing statements like, oh yeah, so apparently, who was it that got banned? Sneeko got banned from every single club in Miami. He can't go to any clubs now because of the whole Hail Hitler song. He can't even go to certain restaurants because people are saying, oh, you're full of hate. Dude, I saw all those dudes smiling from ear to ear, vibing out, having a good time. I didn't see a single ounce of hatred in that entire group of people. And Sneeko said he's not sorry at all and he would do it again, which I applaud him for, because so many of these fake influencers and Hollywood celebrities, so many of these sheep, they cave in to the liberals, they cave in to their haters. When they get too much pressure, they cave in and they apologize. They're not going to do that anymore. They're afraid to be their own person and they're afraid to own who they are as individuals because they want people to like them because they're attention whores. Now, personally, I don't like Sneeko and I don't like Clavicular. I think they're both faggots. The rest of the group, Andrew and Tristan Tate, Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, Justin Waller, those are some real G's. I follow all of them, and I absolutely love their content and the shit that they have to say. But Clavicular and Sneeko are the two retards of the group. Those are the two people that I genuinely don't give a shit about. But I still respect them for owning who they are and owning their decisions. Now they're banned from nightclubs and whatnot because of a song. Let me ask you something. They went into a nightclub and went up to the DJ and requested a song be played. Many people do that. The DJ decided to play the song. The DJ was full aware, I imagine, because he has to go on his iPad or go through his vinyl records or whatever method he's using to play the music, he has to look for the song to play it. So he was well aware of what he was about to play. He was well aware of what was being requested. He knew what he was doing. He let the song play throughout and did not bother to turn it off. So why are Clavicular and these influencers getting in trouble and the DJ is not? The DJ is the one who's being hired to play music, including requests that he chooses to take. Why is the DJ not getting in trouble? Why are you punishing the people? Listen, plenty of people request songs all the time at these clubs. I'm sure if some bum-ass nigger went up there and requested some jazz music, that DJ would have said, fuck no. So I really don't understand why they're being attacked in the first place. It's just a song. It's a fucking song being played in a nightclub that regularly plays rap music where they talk about shooting each other up and beating up women and beating each other up and stomp him in his nuts and nigger this and nigger that. But God forbid we mention Israel. God forbid we mention World War II. God forbid we mention the Jews. Suddenly we're terrorists. Let me tell you something, buddy. Japan has been nuked several times. They don't whine about it. China got invaded by, what was that guy's name, Chairman Mao? They ain't bitching about it. Fucking US, we went through 9/11, bro. We went through 9/11 and we went to COVID. Bro, and us Americans make fun of recent tragedies that we've been through. We ain't bitches. But these goddamn Jews and these Israeli cunts are over here whining about Hitler, about World War II, which happened in 1940. Bro, this happened decades ago. Hitler is dead, and he's been dead for quite some time. It's over with. Most of the people that have survived the Holocaust have died from old age. It is done and over with. Let it go. Jesus. We are sick and tired of hearing yo whine about shit that happened 20 fucking years ago. More than 20 years ago, actually. I don't know why I even said that. It's like these niggers who are always whining about, oh, the white man, this, slavery. The fuck that gotta do with me? The fuck that gotta do with today? That happened in 1900, bitch. Same thing with the Holocaust. And the fact that they don't want to talk about it makes it all the more suspicious. Like I said, you need to question everything. Now, I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that Hitler was right at all for what he did. But my question is, what made Hitler a villain? He wasn't born that way. And why did Hitler decide that out of everyone in the world, Jews had to go? You look at the Jews today, and they're fucking crybaby cunts. We had a situation on FSU's campus where Eden Deckerhoff got fucking arrested and trespassed and bullied into the ground because of a disagreement she had with an Israeli soy boy. Now, I'm not saying her shoving the guy was right. And this is something that I speak out against a lot because a lot of women think they can do whatever they want to just because they're attractive girls. Or not even attractive girls, because they're girls in general. And they don't get punished for it because they do things that are wrong and sometimes even illegal. And they don't get punished for it because they're girls. Buddy, do you know how many girls have shoved me in the chest? Shoved my friends in the chest? Full on shove someone? Ashton, I think his last name is Herndon. He used to go to FSU. He was telling a story about when he was interacting with a celebrity and some sorority girl full on shoved him and stained his white shirt with her Cheeto fingers. That's assault right there. She didn't get arrested for it. I'm not saying that what Eden Deckerhoff said was right. But my question is, why her? Why let every other girl, why let all the attractive girls in these sororities get away with whatever the fuck they want to? And then with Deckerhoff, you double down and you attack her mercilessly. Oh, well, she was hateful towards Jewish people, buddy. A few months ago, when FSU lost a football game, the Whataburger down the street from my house, about a few blocks from my house, there was a white girl in an FSU uniform who got pissed at a fan from the opposing team who was black and she full on called him a nigger, and she went viral all over Instagram for it. How come she's not getting bullied into the ground? And that whole case ultimately revealed that Jews are fucking crybabies. Like, bro, if a girl fucking comes up to me and fucking shoves me in the chest like that, at the very most, I'll curse her out. I'm not gonna go to the fucking cops and whine to the cops and whine to the media, make it a whole thing, and make them put up fucking billboards about it. Like, bro, move on with your fucking day. So maybe there's a reason why Hitler decided that Jews needed to go. Because you look at Jews today, and they are not pleasant people. Maybe there's a reason the white man decided that the black man needed to be segregated. Because you look at a majority of black people today, and they are not pleasant people. They act like animals. The Jews act like animals. And these are the same people who bitch and whine about what has happened to them in history. And then you look at them today, and they are the most insufferable cunts on the fucking planet. And it makes you wonder who the real bad guys actually are. I will continue to stay out of Miami because of situations like this. Now, I am not opposed to them playing whatever the fuck they want to. Buddy, it's a free country. It's just a song. If you're gonna let your entire afternoon, your entire night get ruined because the DJ played one song that you didn't like, you are a faggot and you should stay at home and rot in your bed anyway. You should hang yourself or just crawl into a hole and die because you are a miserable, insufferable cunt. It is just a fucking song. There's no need to ban them all from every club in Miami. There's no need to attack them online. There's no need for the fucking mayor to be wasting his resources by harassing the citizens of Miami. This whole thing is a fucking clown show. And not the Tate brothers and Fuentes and the influencers, the fucking crybaby Miami citizens that made this whole thing a big deal are the crybabies. And have they realized that they're now pushing? Bro, I can't avoid the fucking Hitler song on Instagram now because the haters made it popular again. Now, before we end things off, I want to talk about why I don't like Clavicular and Sneeko. Now, I don't know much about Sneeko, but from what I've seen, his content's just not for me. He's just not my kind of guy. That doesn't mean he's a bad person, and I'm not against him at all. I actually do respect him for the things that he said, for him owning up to his decisions and not apologizing for what happened in Miami. Clavicular, on the other hand, once again, I don't hate him or necessarily dislike him. Clavicular, I know a little bit more about. His whole thing is he gets a lot of bitches because of looks maxing, right? You know, he talks about you gotta make a good first impression with girls, and you know, a first impression is a good first thing a girl sees. I agree with that. First impressions are very important. But anytime I see anything about Clavicular, he's literally famous because he gets bitches. Okay, like they show a video of him at a frat party, and the frat guys are trying to kick him out because all the girls are lining up to take pictures with him. Okay, and I'm sure if Pitbull was there, I'm sure girls would be lining up to take pictures with him too. Like, you're not special because you get bitches, bro. Your value as a man is not based on the fact how many girls you've got following you following your tail. Personally, I think a guy who's too concerned with girls is a faggot. You could be a loser who gets all the bitches in the world, or you could be a winner who gets no bitches at all. To sit around and make your entire fucking brand about looks maxing, bro, and I can teach you how to look max, and what kind of retarded shit is this? I ain't paying for that shit. Oh, but looks maxing is important. Who, bro? Even the fucking name looks maxing, whatever the fuck. Even the name sounds fucking retarded. And you know, I looked into this guy for a minute because I'm like, well, if Andrew Tate is with this guy, he must be a top G, you know? I'm sure Andrew Tate wouldn't hang out with an idiot. And the more I look into it, the more of an idiot I think he is. Like, bro, your whole fucking personality is about getting bitches, buddy. You're just a whore. You're a fucking man whore. Like, your whole fucking personality is look at all these bitches, bro. First of all, that's not impressive to anyone because we live in a generation where bitches are brainless. Come down to FSU, bro, and go to any FSU clubs, and you will see 10 out of 10 bitches full on making out with an 18-year-old faggot with no muscles whatsoever, built like a twig, looks like he jerks off and plays COD all day and loses every single round anyway. Doesn't have any money, has no job, no future ahead of him, and he's making out with the hottest fucking bitch in the fucking club. Like, bro, we live in a world where women ain't shit at all. Like, there's literally nothing to them other than their looks. They're attractive, and that's it. And they somehow get away with anything just because they're attractive. Like, just imagine you're a girl for a minute. You walk into a room, you see someone. Hi, how's it going? You go in for a hug. Bro, if a guy did that, you'd be like, get the fuck off me, bro. You know, girl comes up to you, she puts her hand on your arm, starts talking to you all sweetly. Guy does that, he's going to fucking jail. Like, I'm telling you, girls do shit every single day that is socially acceptable for them, but if a guy does it, he will get full-on attacked for it and possibly arrested. As far as Clavico is concerned, I think he gets a little too touchy with these girls sometimes. Like, there's a scene, there's a clip of him hanging out with the Tates and all the influencers, and he pulls a girl over, she sits on his lap, and he starts feeling her breasts, and he makes a comment on her breasts saying, oh, like, your plastic surgeon did a good job on these. There's another clip where he straight on tells a girl that he does meth. I'm like, alright, so this guy has no brain whatsoever. He literally has no fucking brain. And also him touching a girl's boobs without her permission, that's sexual assault. I understand she didn't say anything and she let him do it. But let me point something out. He just reached out and grabbed her breast and started feeling her breast, and she didn't say anything. He put a lot in trust that she wouldn't say anything. Because, buddy, he did not say, hey, can I touch your boobs? And she did not say, yes, go ahead. You can feel my breasts. You do that to any random girl, the likelihood of you going to jail on the spot is at like 1,000%. And she let him probably because he's rich and he has a popularity status and she's a little dumb. But he keeps doing that, I can guarantee you one day he's gonna do the wrong thing to the wrong girl without her prior consent. And he's gonna go to jail for sexual assault. That boy, Clavicular, better stay the fuck out of politics. Because the second he starts getting involved in politics, I can guarantee you they're gonna throw a rape case at him. May God bless this country. May God bless America. And Heil Hitler. Nigger Heil Hitler. Nigger Heil Hitler. Nigger Heil Hitler. Hitler. Nigger Heil Hitler. Nigger Heil Hitler. Nazis, nigger Heil Hitler. Heil Hitler. Nigger Heil Hitler. All my niggers, Nazis, nigger Heil Hitler. Heil Hitler. Nigger Heil Hitler. They don't understand the shit that I'm saying on my podcast. Nigger Heil Hitler.